GPS.
Good morning, Navodaya sir.
Good morning, everyone. Namaste, madam.
Navodaya sir, good morning.
मैडम अभी चालू करते थे. Will we start, madam? Hello, madam.
हाँ हाँ कर म्हणा, मला इथे ऐकू नाही येत आहे. इथे ऐकू नाही येत आहे. हाँ हाँ चालू कर दो.
Yes, madam. Uh, Good morning, everyone. Before proceeding for today's PhD Scholars webinar series of Priya Sharira, I would like to request Kushali, first year UG student, for introducing today's speaker.
Welcome to PhD Scholars Webinar Series of Priya Sharira. Today, Namaste, I welcome our expert speaker, Dr. Lakshmi, who had completed her BMS from Nangeli Medical College and Hospital, Kerala in 2009. She did her MD in Kriya Sharira from SDM CA Hassan, Karnataka in the year 2016. Presently, she completed her doctoral studies in Karnataka Kriya Sharira from Gujarat and of Dr. Vaidhi Patel. Her title of research is study to assess Nidra and its effect on emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence. She has 4.5 years articles to append. She has presented research papers in various international conferences.
વોઇસ પ્રોપર નથી આવતો.
Welcome to PhD Scholars Webinar Series of Kriya Sharif. Namaste. Today I welcome our guest expert speaker, Dr. Sri Lakshmi ji, who had completed her BAMS from Nangali Ayurved Medical College and Hospital, Kerala in the year 2009. She did her MD in Kriya Sharif from SDM CAH Hassan, Karnataka in the year 2016. Presently, she is pursuing her doctoral studies in Department of Kriya Sharif from Parul Institute of Ayurveda, Vadodara, Gujarat under the able guidance of Dr. Vaidehi Rawale. Her title of research work is Observational Study to Assess Nidra and its Effect on Emotional Intelligence in Healthy Individuals with Emotional Intelligence Scale. She has 4.5 years of UG teaching experience and published 3 research articles to her credit. She has presented 3 research papers in various international and national conferences. Very warm welcome to you, ma'am, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, my dear student and Dr. Navodaya Raju. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Sri Lakshmi, PhD scholar, Parallel University, and my guide, Dr. Vaidehi Rawale. I will share the PPT. Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So, I would like to present the topic Pitta dosha and its applied aspect. These are the key points I would like to share with you, such as an introduction about Pitta dosha, involvement of Pitta dosha on various levels, such as on metabolism, on Navaha Shrodhas, and its involvement on various disorders, and finally, conclusion. So let's start this session with an important thought. That is, it has been said that physiology of today is the medicine for tomorrow, which means the knowledge on various physiological process in the living body helps to identify the disorders and also to normalize various pathological conditions by advising proper medications. So, in Ayurvedic science, in the context of Grahani, Acharya Chakrapani mentioned one sloga, Prakriti Jnanandaratvat Vikriti Jnanasya Pradhamatvat Vikritasyakne Rupamaha. That is, the Prakriti Jnana of Agni should precede the study of Vikriti Jnana or pathology of Grahani dosha, which means the knowledge of Prakriti Jnana, that is, physiology of any concept mentioned in the Ayurvedic science, is important for understanding the pathology as well as the treatment aspects. In our science, the theories regarding Pagadi Karma are basically based on the concept of Agni. Though the word Agni literally means fire, in the context of living organisms, the word means various factors that participates in and direct the course of physiological processes like digestion and metabolism. That is, this Agni perform various biochemical and biophysical transformations and any change in this physiological process could be identified as pathology. This can be identified as pathology only through the thorough knowledge of the physiology or the concept of such acne. In the same way, several physiological knowledge of several Ayurvedic concepts only, we will try to understand its pathology. As we know, according to our science, this Ahara Paga or Ahara Pachana occurs in or in between the Amasya and Pakvashya. That is the sthana between Nabhi and Hridaya, or Nabhi and Hridaya, or sthana or Nabhi. Here, the complex food substances will be split into similar components, as we all know, and that we can render fit only then it will be rendered fit for the absorption purpose. And such purpose, Pagadi Karma purpose, is done by the different types of Agni, such as Jadarakni, Dhadwakni, Bhudakni. And this Dehakni or Kayakni has got the synonyms such as Koshtakni and Jadarakni. I know I have made a mistake in the spelling of Jadarakni or Koshtakni. So I put the slide in that color, red color. I am not able to correct the spelling, that's why I put like that. So this Kayakni has a synonym such as Jadarakni and Koshtakni, or even it get the name Pajaka Pitta. So this, since this Dehakni or Pajaga Pitta is necessary for the nourishment purpose or for the Oja, for the prana of living organisms, and it has been said that its stoppage of functioning even can leads to the death of that individual. So Agni is said to be the base or mool of Dhatu Parinama of our Sharira. So whatever transformation or Paga occurs in our body, Agni is necessary. And along with this Agni, several other doshas plays major role in Pagadi karma that we know, such as Bodhaga Kaba, Pranavada, Kledaga Kaba, Samanavada, and Pajaga Pitta. So any imbalance in this sthana or karma of such dosha, or any anatomical abnormalities in the sthana of such dosha, or even in the Agni sthana, it can lead to several disorders. So my main aim of this presentation is to provide is to understand the concept of pitta, how Pajaka Pitta and Agni become similar, and what's the influence of Pajaka Pitta on metabolism and other level, and how this Pajaka Pitta involved in various disorders. So from the introductory part, we came to know about the importance of Agni, in metabolism. Now let's check how this pitta, what is pitta and how pitta helps in digestion and metabolism. From the root meaning of pitta, that is the root meaning and the definition of pitta will give an idea about the importance of pajaka pitta in metabolism, such as tab dahe, tab sandave, tab aishwarye. Thus, pitta is responsible for the generation of heat and for responsible for the burning the ingested food. Even Acharya Shushruta mentioned that Pitta Akneyam Pitta, and he mentioned that Pitta is the Pajakakni or Andarakni, where the term Pajaka means Parinama or conversion by Medini, even by Medini on Amaragosha. Acharya Shushruta mentioned that there is no existence of any other Agni in the body without the presence of Pitta, because when there is increased digestion combustion in the body due to Ushna Guna of Pitta, the treatment can be given like Agni. And Acharya Charaka also mentioned that Reva Sharire Pitandargada Kupita Kupita Shubha Shubhani Karuri. So from this definition, it was clear that Agni and Pitta are almost same. Even mentioned by Acharya Vagbhada, Pittam Vakner Vakni Jamba, and in Bhagavad Gita also Aham Vaishwanaro Bhuta. In all these sloga, it is clear that Agni and Pitta are similar, and we will understood the basic functions of Pitta dosha also. So, since Agni and Pitta are considered to be similar in most of their physiological aspects, the Agni and Pitta having the same sthana also we can consider. Since Agni and Pitta are same, the Grahani sthana of Agni could be considered as the main sthana of the Pajaka Pitta too. And the dysfunction of Pajaka Pitta makes Grahani more durbala, and in turn, the strength of Grahani influences the functions of Pajaka Pitta. That is, the Bela of Grahani is also under the control of Pajaka Pitta and vice versa. So from all these references, we can assume the relation between Agni and Pitta, and even the relation between Pitta and Grahani and Agni. So, in this loga, Acharya Vagbhada elaborately mentioned the properties and metabolic functions of Pajaka Pitta, such as Yada Amasha Pakvasha Madhyastam Panchamaha Bhudatmagatve Adi. That is, in this loga, Acharya mentioned that Pajaka Pitta do not possess the Snigdha Shita Guna, and along with the other doshas such as Vayu, Kledaga Kaba, it performs the functions such as Dahana, Pajanadi Karma. That is, it performs the function similar to Agni. This Pajapita acts like Jadarakni. And in this logo, Annam Kale Abhya Vahradam Koshtam, in this logo also it mentioned the role of Pajaka Pitta as Jadarakni. And in this loga, Swastanastasya Kayakne Ramsha, this loga mentioned the influence of or the presence of Pajaka Pitta in Dhadu. So in general, we can say that the Pajaka Pitta or the Pitta can do functions in all over the body. It has functions all over the body. That it is clear from this loga. Paktyushma Abhilasha should Pipasa, like that. Now let's move to the location, types, and functions of Pajaka Pitta. In this sloka, so here the Pajakagni, see from the different locations of Pitta, such as Renjaga Pitta. Renjaga Pitta, it is mentioned in Yagruth and Pleha. It helps in the coloration of Rasadhatu, that is formation of Rakta Dhatu. For example, factors influencing erythropoiesis, maturation of RBC such as vitamin B12, folic acid, vitamin C, pyridoxine, and certain minerals necessary for erythropoiesis, all could be considered in the concept of Renjaga Pitta. Similarly, Alojaka Pitta for the visual process, Sadhaka Pitta fulfilling the desires of mind. All these can be considered as the factors that aid the normal functions of Pajaka Pitta, and in turn, these factors for the proper functioning of all these Pitta, they all should be governed by the Pajaka Pitta. Now we can correlate the Pajaka Pitta for into certain functions such as digestive enzymes such as trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidases that will help in the breakdown of peptides or proteins or hydrolyzes certain glycogen. Some will helps in the digestion of lipid metabolism. So all these digestive enzymes could be compared with the functioning of Pajaka Pitta. Now let's see what is the role of Pajaka Pitta in Avasthapaga. That in the sloga already mentioned, Annam Kale Abhyavahridam Koshtam. In that context, in the context of Ahara Paga, Acharya clearly mentioned which are the dosha evolved during the Paga Prakriya. For example, in Madhura Avastha Paga, Kaba dosha will be evolved. In Amla Avastha Paga, Pitta dosha. In this context, Acharya mentioned Pitta dosha. Along this Pitta dosha, Acha Pitta generation is also mentioned, which can be considered as a Lego fluid by Chakrapani. So, which could be related to the secretion of bile or pancreatic secretions in the duodenum. When the food reaches, chyme reaches the duodenum, the secretions of all these factors could be also compared with the Acha Pitta, which in turn is also under the control of Avastha, under the control of Pajaka Pitta. So during the process of Avasthapaga, there will be formation of Ahara Rasa, there will be genesis of doshas, and Sarakitta Vibhajana occurs. All these formation is also under the control of or governed by the Pajaka Pitta itself. Now the role of Pajaka Pitta in Annavaha Shrodas. Anavaha Shrodas are considered to be those channels in the body that transport food and fluids. So we can correlate the term with the gastrointestinal tract, which have their Moolasthana in Amashaya and Annavahini Dhamini. So the word Amashaya should also could also be applicable to the term Grahani, since it hold ahara in the undigested form. And Grahani, being the sthana for Agni or Pajaka Pitta, it can control the functions of digestion. So, in the signs and symptoms of injury to Annavaha Shrodas, explained by Acharya Charaga and Shushruta, such as Atmana, Shula, Annadvesha, Chardi, Pipasa, Andhya, Marana, etc. Here, Andhya, Pipasa, Marana can be suggested because of some chronic malnutrition or external injuries. Atmana, Chardi, Shula can be due to some dosha vaishamya, which in turn affect the Srodho Dushti. Hence, it is important that this impaired function or dysfunction of Agni in this context, if we consider Pajaka Pitta, the ingestion of unwholesome food may lead to ama, which is the cause for the progress of pathology in Annavaha Shroda. So, assessing the Agni Bala through such as through Abhyavaharana Shakti or Jirna Shakti of a person, the Annavaha Shrodas can be assessed properly. And through that, the function of Pajaka Pitta can also be assessed along with Agni. So now let's move to the influence of Pitta dosha, especially Pajaka Pitta, in several disorders. So consumption of ahara is essential for the maintenance of body. This ahara, which is taken according to the ahara vidhi or ashtahara vidhana, is responsible for the healthy life of an individual. This ahidahara or midyahara, it is responsible for the manifestation of several disorders. In case of, if we talk about rasa pradhanyada in disorders, atyamla sevana, that is, since Amla Rasa is attributed with the Lekhu, Ushna, Snigdha, and Pitta Kara, Rekta Dosha, etc. properties, this Atyamla Sevana can lead to Rekta Dushti, and hence it can lead to Kushta like disorders. So, Ati Sevana of excess Kadu Amla, Lavana Rasa, they are having Agni Mahabhuta predominant Ahara. So their qualities are similar to Pitta and Rekta. So when they consume in excess can lead to Pitta Dushti, and finally Rekta Dushti can also occur. If we talk about the Guna Pradhanyata also, Lekhu Trishna Guna. Such dravya also possess Tejo Mahabhuta dominance. So they can also lead to Pitta Dushti. So, and another factors such as ajirna bhojana, upavasa, and some psychological not disorder, psychological factors such as krodha, bhaya, chinta. This can also affect the pajaka pitta and leads to several pathological disorders, such as in the initial stage it can cause some Pitta Sanjay Lakshanas, later Prakopa Lakshanas, and Prasara Lakshanas, and so on. In case of Panduroga, in case of Panduroga, this several pitta vitiating factors can mostly affect the Rekta Dhadu. As they are Ashraya Ashraya Bhava, Pitta Dushti can affect the Rekta Dhadu, and such aggravated Rekta carrying this Pitta dosha circulates all over the body and reaches the Twak and Mamsa region through the various dhamanis, and it can even vitiate the other doshas such as Vada, Kaba, and even vitiates the Ubadadus like Twak, and it leads to the several discoloration to the body, such as paleness, pale color, or yellowish discoloration, and even there's so even heaviness in the dhadus. Patients also loses their oja, balahani occurs. This is all due to the morbidity of this dosha and dusha. So in Pandurogi, this vitiated pitta, this is responsible for the less production of poshaka, which indicates the abnormality of this Pajaka Pitta. Is mainly there will be Agni Mandya occurs, and hence the this person appears as Nisara, or improper functioning of sense organs occurs. And there will be this Panduroga, it can be correlated almost with the iron deficiency anemia, where there will be improper digestion, absorption, and excretion of electrolytes, minerals, or nutrients in the body. And the person also exhibits symptoms similar to mentioned in our textbooks, such as anorexia, giddiness, body pain, breathlessness, etc. So it can be almost correlated with iron deficiency anemia. Similarly, in other disorders, that is in Parinama Shula, this is a compound word. Actually, comprises two words such as parinama and shula. The word shula is derived, it is having the meaning pain or disease. And parinama has different meanings in Ayurvedic context, such as it could be the word related to kala in terms of season or time. It can also have another meaning such as result, another meaning conversion of food digestion. So to sum up, the term Parinama Shula indicates a disease characterized by stabbing or piercing pain in the abdomen, which is felt during the digestion of food. So it has having some synonyms such as Annadrava Shula, Pakti Doshasha Shula, Pakti Shula, Anna Vidahaja Shula. Okay, and Madhavagara has mentioned he mentioned that the prakopa of Vada is the main causative factor for Parinama Shula. But according to Vijayarikshita Madhukosha, uh, Pitta is considered to be the most important factor that leads to Parinama Shula. Pitta is the dominant dosha in the pathogenesis of Parinama Shula. His argument is that pain of Parinama Shula is experienced during the period of digestion. When pitta remains in its provoked condition, the pain appears. Hence, pitta should be taken as the predominant dosha, especially pajaka pitta should be taken as the predominant dosha in Parinama Shula, according to his concept. So, abdominal pain, which precipitate and aggravates during the digestion, is the most frequent symptom of this Parinama Shula, and the common site of pain being in Kukshi or epigastric region, and right and left hypochondrium, Nabi Pradesha, Basti are the main site of pain. So, since it elevates, this pain elevates after the completion of digestion. Uh, it also, this pain get elevates after the complete process of digestion, and it will increase during the process of digestion. Hence the name. Hence it is considered that Parinama Shula is the main Pajaka Pitta vitiated disorder. And in some case, some references I found that Vadiga Parinama Shula can be correlated with the duodenal ulcer, and Paitiga Parinama Shula with the gastric ulcer, and Annadrava Shula can be correlated with gastric cancer. Now, about the next disorder, that is amla pitta or hyperacidity or gastritis. Here we know, in this increasing modern technology and advancement of the civilization, these people are changing their lifestyles, and more than 50% of gastrointestinal tract disorder include this amla pitta, which could be correlated with the term gastritis or hyperacidity, because there will be several inflammatory changes occurs in the gastric mucosa. So this amla pitta is considered to be the major causes caused by lifestyle changes, and its prevalence is increasing day by day. If we talk about its nidana and samprapti, we can say like that: if several pitta prakopakara ahara, it vitiates acne, and that vitiation of Srodo Dushti happens, such as Rasavaha and Annavaha Srodo Dushti happens, that leads to Ajirna and finally the Amla Pitta. And it includes several clinical features such as burning sensations in the chest and throat region, that is Hritkandadaha, Amlodgara, Utklesha, Chardi, Ariji, Klama, all could be included as the clinical features of this Amla Pitta. And several other disorders, inflammatory disorders mentioned in Pittaja, Nanatmaja Vyadhis can also be included in that mainly because of the Pajaka Pitta disorders, such as Asyapaga, Galapaga, Akshipaga, Medrapaga, Budapaga. These all, even Kamala, these all can be included mainly because of the dysfunction of Pajaka Pitta. Now see the influence of Pajaka Pitta in Atyagni. So we know in Tishna Agni or Atyagni, here the action of Pajaka Pitta is influenced predominantly by Pitta doshas, every Pitta doshas, and that makes the Pajaka Pitta excessively excited. And that Pajaka Pitta will be capable of digesting any amount of even irregular food, heavy meal in a very short span of time. The term Bhasmaga mentioned by Chakrapani, it is in the it literally means to reduce into ashes or into or burn up. So this Bhasmaga is used as synonym for the concept of Atyagni by Chakrapani and Delhana. And this due to hypersecretions, if we correlate the concept, we know the hypersecretion of several digestive enzymes, or even the hypersecretion of thyroxine from the thyroid gland, which in turn could be influenced due to the hypersecretions of the glands which influence the thyroid glands. All these can be included under the concept of Bhasmaga, or the hyperfunction of Pajaka Pitta, or in the concept of Atyagni. So the effects of hyperactivity of thyroxine or bhasmaka functions of Pajakapitta include increased cellular respiration, feeling of hot all the time, increased appetite, food consumption, even hypoglycemia. So all such hyperactivity uh, can be of thyroid gland, and also the glands which control the thyroid gland can be included under the dysfunctions of Pajaka Pitta. Similarly, the hypoactivity of thyroxine and increased body weight or hyperlipidemia, hyperglycemia, all these factors can also be included under the Mandakni, hypofunctioning of Pajaka Pitta, or in the concept of Pitta Kshaya or Mandakni. Now, sorry. Yes. Now let's move to the next, that is involvement of Pajaka Pitta in the current disorder now we are facing. So this thing I have mentioned from the background of few research articles I referred. So, in the Ayurvedic assessment of COVID 19, it was found that clinical presentations of the patients are different. So, it is based on their nidana, or based on their prakriti, vyadikshamatva, the status of tridosha, gold in the in the development, in the pathogenesis of this COVID 19 can be changed. So the disease or the epidemics or this Janapadodhamsa Vigara is considered to be an Aganduja Vigara with several clinical presentations such as hyperthermia, shortness of breath, pneumonia symptoms, dry throat. They are considered to be the cardinal signs of COVID-19, and it indicates an afflictions on the pranavaha srotas. So in this roga, we know the roga marga will be obviously abhyantara roga marga, and here jwara, shwasa, kasa can these are belonging to actually the abhyantara roga marga. So this based on and the sthana of this disorder is mainly urasthana. So based on this above factors, we can say that the corona disease can be correlated to the aganduja sannipadaja jwara, where pitta kapha predominance will be there. And here, so the involvement of Pajaka Pitta is obvious in this case in the form of Agni Mandya, Daha, Pipasa, Brahma. So here the treatment for Pitta Shamana and Agni Devana can be given in the initial stage, and later depends upon the symptoms. Vada, Kabahara, Chigulsa can be taken. So other preventive measurements for such Janavadodhamsa Vikara, such as following Dinacharya, Ritucharya, Hida Ahara, following Hida Ahara, Lekhu Agni Deepanagara Ahara, Ushna Jalapana, Shadangapaniya, and Rasayana Chigilsa can be promote or can be advisable. This is the pathogenesis of COVID-19 I just mentioned. The formation of Jivanu affect the Pitta Tridosha, and finally it affecting the Dadu, then Daduaha Shodas, and affecting the each and every organs in our body, causing the symptoms. And finally, when it becomes a Sankramika Roga, it can becomes an epidemic disorder or Janapadodhamsa. It can becomes a Janapadodhamsa Vigara. Finally, we can conclude the session by saying that the status of Pajaka Pitta plays a greater role in the pathology of several disorders. This Pajaka Pitta cannot be represented by a single entity at all the time, as there is variations in the functions and at various level. And there is no specific correlation of Pajaka Pitta mentioned in Ayurvedic literature in terms of supporting the modern literature. So it is a basis for all, and hence it should be given most importance among every type of pitta. So increased demand of Ayurvedic science is required to understand the depth of Ayurvedic principles on the criteria of modern medical science in an easy mode. And there is a need of further research to evaluate in detail of other pitta dosha for the better of mankind. These are the few research articles I have referred. These are the textbooks I refer. Thank you all.
Any students has any doubts, they can ask questions. If you want to discuss, if you want to ask any questions, you can. It is open now for discussion. It was a very good lecture. It was a very good information, Sri Lakshmi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Any student has any doubts or any queries, or we want to discuss any points, you can do it. And I am really grateful to all my alumni students also for joining the group.
Now I'm here.
Hello.
Ma'am,
Huh.
anyone is having any queries, you can ask. Otherwise,
Yes.
we will conclude the session. Vote of thanks.
Yes. That is what I said. I think I was audible when I talked.
Yes, madam, you are audible, madam.
Huh. I just now asked the students who have any doubt, they can discuss. It is open for discussion now. And Shri Lakshmi has given a very good presentation. He has covered all the points possible. So if any students has any doubt, they can ask the questions or we can discuss it. I don't think anybody has any questions. So Navodaya, you can do the vote of thanks.
Now I request
Navodaya, sir.
Pushali to conclude the session. Vote of thanks.
I would like to thank our today's resource person, Dr. Sri Lakshmi Ji, for today's session on behalf of Department of Kriya Sharir, Faculty of Ayurved, Parul University. Also, I would like to thank our Dr. Himantoshi Khane sir and Dr. B.G. Kulkarni sir for planning today's wonderful session.
Thank
Also,
you.
we thank all the faculties and our alumni for joining the session. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Vaidehi, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sri.
ma'am. Thank
Thank
you,
you, ma'am.
Dr. Vaidhi, ma'am.
Yes, yes. It
Thank you,
was a
ma'am.
good session. And we will all continuously do this series of lectures. So I request all the alumni as well as our running PG and PhD students to be present in every lecture.
Thank you. Thank
At
you.
least उस बहाने सब मिलेंगे तो. ठीक है. Okay. Thank you very much.
तो उधर से रिकॉर्डिंग